Alright guys, what's up? Slappy here with another one, the hashtag 6GL Finest Show. We got Bones Jones, Coach Bones Jones actually, and Coach Nate here with the one and only Roughing You Solo. And tonight we got a special broadcast stream coming right at you. Tonight I'd like to start it off. I mean, we got a tourney coming up called the 6GL Flight Tourney, and we got some special picks to be announced from teams. And we also got some last flight tourney rules and perks. Now, this last flight tourney is a tourney, more or less like a mock draft to see how players work and gel with each other as we move towards the 6GL2 season draft, which we will be conducting shortly within a couple weeks after this tournament. And with the first of the rules, I'd like to have Coach Nate, just talk a little bit about the rules with Roughing You Solo and let y'all know what's going on.
Ruffin, you want to go ahead, or do you want me to go? I think the main thing is that with each of the teams they'll have up to 3 lifelines, which is kind of a unique thing to our tourney. Mm-hmm. One, you can call a friend to sub in at any moment. We have that. That's kind of, I feel like, a unique thing. It's all about who you know, and plus it's a really good way for us to kind of expose some outside people to what the Six Gaming League is, and kind of help them understand some things that we do. We also run a couple of flight games a week, and that creates that 6GL free agent wire, which is kind of the second able to be used. And then right now we also have the rule where you can use a 6GL1 goat, where
Oh, sorry guys, I meant to change that. It's not a 6GL1 GOAT. We actually changed that to drafting a 6th man, so technically a lot of people have already used their lifelines in this one, so I do apologize for that when we did take that one out. So
each basically each team will carry a roster of 6 currently, and each one of the players have had to have played at least one flight game. A flight game is a combined style game that is put on for or through 6GL organizations, usually held by Slaps here, but also if you're kind of new to what 6GL is and stuff like that, it's just a combine style game that allows you to kind of do a draft 10 matchup, and we have probably 2-3 a week, give or take. The more that you can become involved with that too, this is we're calling this kind of the last flight tourney. Really before the main tournament. And Ruffin, why don't you expand on that a little bit?
Well, this one's a series. It's only elimination for the like. Let's say you get kicked out first round, more or less. Like, let's say you're facing your team. You have a best of 3 series. You have a great series, and you're the falling team. And obviously, there's 2 falling teams. I mean, we're all fighting for draft picks and stuff like that. First round draft pick, and see what order you're in. So the 2 teams that get out first will face each other. And so it's not like you're directly out of the tournament. You're still facing a little mini elimination game after, just kind of see what pick you get in the draft spot as a team owner.
Let's.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Also, patience in the parties when admins and management, like myself or Coach Nate, are getting things set up. Just to have the patience to just wait there while we get the game set up. I mean, it takes sometimes 10 to 20 minutes, but it's well worth it in the long run. Hmm.
Well,
we all here working to get better, and I think I really want to emphasize on must have a good sportsmanlike conduct. What I mean like that is thriving with your teammates to the end. Don't quit out in the first quarter because the other team's up by 10. At the end of the game, tell the other team they had a good game. I mean, it's all fine and dandy. We know trash talk's part of the game, but it's different when you don't know somebody who comes into a party trash talking you. Create a relationship, and when they know you and they know your tendencies of the person you are, you're able to get away with a little trash talk here and there. So I just kind of want to put that in there. Heck yeah. And Nate or Bones, I'd like you guys just to actually, you know what? Nate, why don't you take this the end of the rules there with the lag outs and the trades and the minutes past due
sure.
time. And then we'll kick
I,
into the draft results with Bones Jones.
I think too, and just let me, I got some feedback from one of the people that are actually tuned into us that I don't think Ruffin's voice got shared through on there.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think we may have missed that
Oh,
that
we missed.
first part.
Oh, we missed
But
Ruffin's first part. Ooh.
but the main thing is too, and as we kind of handle that, what we'll call technical difficulty there. It's the main thing about the rules is to be respectful of one another, be patient, be positive, in those kind of things, and you want to make sure that you have good sportsmanlike conduct. That's more the nuance style rules. Things that are just to eliminate toxic culture in 2K community because there is a lot of it. There's a lot of it in gaming culture in general. And you know what? It's a good way to kind of keep everybody interested in the game and sticking with it.
Mhm.
Um, but for the concrete rule sets, you know, lag outs past the third quarter is a win for the team with 8 or more points ahead. Anything less is a redo. Um,
Mhm.
all trades are fair game as new players enter in before the tourney. You are able to notify management for a pass or what you think fits your team best. Obviously, we'll have an open dialogue with any of that. And then 45 minutes past due time is an instant win for the showing team. Also, once time is notified to management from both sides, there is no backing out. So, it's mainly with that. Obviously, we preach patience. 45 minutes is plenty of time, but it's it's tough. It's one of those things where patience is a big thing to have on the court, but it's also a big thing to have while 2K is not always the most cooperative thing at times. PlayStation Network
Yeah,
has its own things.
absolutely.
And I think one of those things you got to make sure you fix or edit or whatever you do as a person is your ability to become fluid, not flexible. I think the main thing that people talk about when they say, "Hey, be flexible to the situation." it's not necessarily about being flexible. Flexible means at some point you'll break. Being fluid means finding whatever situation you can get into. You fill the void, fill whatever's there. That's what we really ask of you to be in the 6GL. We want to make sure that however you do it, you make sure that you are just you're fitting to whatever's asked of you to be there. So.
That's awesome right there.
So I'd like to move on to what you guys all came here for, which is the last flight tourney draft results, as we had some teams pick. Obviously, all the teams. Well, except for the first team. I mean, the first team was Team Radiation, and there's a first couple trades made in the first tourney where Slaps, myself, got traded for a 4th round draft pick, and Billion got traded for a 4th round draft pick, and then we both became team owners. So a little bit of a weird mix there, but with the first pick, I'd like to Bones Jones to go off and announce the picks for 6GL last flight tourney.
Am I doing all the way to the 5th round?
You can do all the way up to whenever you feel is best. You want to do the first round? First? Okay, cool. Okay, cool.
So,
we'll do second.
Off rip, the first player chosen in the flight tourney by Most Wanted was Max Sellerman. He's a point guard. Lock City 2K's first pick was Scooter. He's a power forward. Reaper of War first pick was CJ. He's a center. Hydration Nation first pick was Young. Got Next. He's a point guard. Team Flex, Young Juke. And Team Radiation's first pick, Money 2 Raw.
Heck yeah,
Right.
Definitely some big names. You got the MVP in there. Ruffin, why don't you go ahead and kick off the it's kind of funny, but yeah, go ahead and kick off the second round draft picks, why don't you?
Absolutely. So for the second round draft picks, we got Most Wanted. Second pick was Cold Shot, which he has a shooting guard and a small forward. Lock City, second round draft pick was TNX Crazy Man, shooting guard.
Crazy.
Then we have Reapers of War, second round pick.
Drum roll.
New solo, small forward. I also got 2 shooting guards too, but that's all right. That'll be seen later on. Anyway, Hydration Nation, second round draft pick. Wavy OO. And you gotta put them O's on that because it's like O when he's on the court, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Anyway.
Definitely some comp players in there.
Then you got Hydration Nation. No.
Yep,
Yeah,
we
you got
team.
Team Flex, second round pick. Brazy with an X, I would say, right? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I believe that's right.
And Team Radiation, second round pick. ICYGRL.
Boom, top
One of
150.
my favorite girls to play with right there. Definitely
yeah.
a funny gal.
Mhm.
Definitely a funny gal.
Yeah, she's the blessing I have on the court.
Mhm. A blessing out on the court. Heck yeah, Bones Jones. Third round draft picks. I'm gonna go off with this one. Most Wanted. Third round pick. We got KB24 Truth, who also plays a lot throughout the community in different draft leagues. We have Lock City 2K, third round pick. We got Bellow, a Canadian Frenchman from Quebec. Then we got Reapers of War, third round pick. Clamp LaFair, played 1 combine game but got noticed. Hydration Nation, third round pick. Zeno, big centers. Team Flex, third round pick, which is not applicable right now. And then we'll move on to the Team Radiation third round pick, which is also another Canadian. Boom, from New Brunswick, Slim Shady. Now we'll let Coach Nate kick off with the fourth round picks.
So in fourth round, we went with Most Wanted getting Manic Monday. Another good big. He's got other builds as well, too. Kind of interested to see what he comes out on. Then Lock City, fourth round pick. We took Dead Shadow, 781, who is
Top 200.
6GL. And he's a top 200 player. We're real happy to have him. Reapers of War, Blicky Season, an up-and-coming shooting guard. Really talented as far
Ran
as
the PG in most of the
scoring.
flight games.
Yes, absolutely. Hydration Nation took Ryan Flores. It'll be kind of game time decision from what I understand on that.
Another Canadian.
Another Canadian, yes. Lock City had a second fourth round pick from an earlier flight tournament kind of exchange. They took Queen of the Six, and then Team Radiation finished and rounded off the fourth round with Ace Elite.
Heck yeah. So I'd like to just finish off with the last picks here, and then we're going to have Bones Jones just kind of get into one build with badges that you guys would like to use best, which is for the best comp builds. He'll get more into that. Fifth round picks, most wanted, fifth round, last but not least, Slime Season, Reapers of War, fifth round pick. Charlie, I know you said don't worry about me, boy, but Charlie 150 got picked up by Reapers of War. Hydration Nation with the fifth round pick, Nando going off. Team Radiation, fifth round pick, QX1, which is ICYGRL's brother, by the way. And I'd also like to say that we're kind of underestimated how many free agents and teams to be filled, and how many of y'all were really going to show up to show love, and the love has just been absolutely great. That we're going to be adding 2 more wild card teams, which we will be announcing the players for those for the tournament for Saturday. So appreciate everybody participating in these flight games, and keep on coming out. And Bones Jones, kick off with your comp lineup build badge progression.
All right, man. So I got 2 center builds. They're both the same as far as name wise, but the way I build them completely different. So we got 2 glass cleaner lockdowns. You got the shooting version, you got the inside version. I have both. So for my inside version, I made him 6'11", 270. I felt like at that height, my vertical is high enough. I got like a 77 vertical. My lateral quickness is like a 78, 79. That's with the +4 from the Gym Rat badge. But as far as badges go for the 6'11" inside, I'll get 30 upgrades. And for that, my 30 upgrades through many trial and error matchup games, draft 10s, this, that, and the third. I feel like these badges are the best for most situations. So starting off, I have box gold. I think that box is a decent badge, even if you have it on silver. I mean, it works well enough on silver if you're a big body, but if you're not, that gold really... That's all you need right there. Brick Wall, Rebound Chaser, those 2 badges are Hall of Fame without question. I mean, you can have them go if you know how to box out and, you know what I mean, if you know how to box out, get rebounds, if you know how to set screens and whatnot, set big body. But those 2 badges, Hall of Fame, are imperative on both builds. Chase Down Artist Gold. Now, I know some of y'all thinking like, you know, why would a big, need Chase Down Artist Gold? But think about it. If you're playing against a slashing playmaker or a slashing offensive threat and he beats you off the dribble, you need to be able to get back to the basket. That Chase Down Artist Gold give you that boost. You'll be able to block the ball at the basket. Now, having Chase Down Artist on gold, you could take your rim protector down to silver, which is what I have. Because with you being 6'11", you going up against 9 times out of 10 on the pick and roll, you're going to be going up against a guard that's like 6'4". As long as you stay disciplined, protector silver do you just fine. Now my build, I got all these extra upgrades on the 30, so I got Intimidator on Hall of Fame. I think that's a must. I got Clamps gold for when I switch on the pick and roll at the top of the key, which is something that I like to do a lot. I got Lightning Reflexes gold so that when the point guards get to spamming that behind the back, you don't get froze in the wind so much. Pogo Stick gold, I think that gold or Hall of Fame is a good badge, especially if you're not disciplined at center and you jump a lot. You can get up and down a lot with no penalty. And then my last upgrade, I just put in the Moving Truck. So you can put Moving Truck. Moving Truck is a decent badge. But for the shooting centers, I went Box Silver, Brick Wall, Hall of Fame, Rebound Chaser Hall of Fame, Rim Protector Gold, Intimidator Hall of Fame, or the Intimidator Gold, Chase Down Silver, Lightning Reflex Silver, Pogo Stick Gold. I think with those badge upgrades for both builds, Um, you might be able to be that guy defensively. See, I'm a real guy defensively. You got whatever shooting badges, whatever slashing badges you want. You can't play defense, you're no good at center in my book. So with those badges, if you get right with the glass cleaning lockdown, you can get glitchy. Oh, and my shooting glass cleaning lockdown, he's 6'10". Now, some people might not agree with that 6'10", 280. I made mine 6'10", but I made a max weight so that he could still get up and down on the jump, on the vertical, but he still got the weight so he can still get that 99 strength when I hit 99. A lot of people say that 7 foot is the best height for shooting center. 7 foot, 7'1", 6'11" in that area. Don't make him too big. He's gonna be too slow. But if you want to be a comp center, I suggest you either make that or make the inside version.
So question about the badges. You don't think defensive leader is a good badge to have?
See,
That's
when
for
I
your
play,
lockdown.
my lockdown has defensive leader, but if he doesn't, I mean, I'm free to rework the badge. Like these badges are no sense set in stone. Like if let's say I'm doing a matchup and I'm playing against a point guard that's like Hezzy or a point guard that's like BP, I know that they are heavily, they hide behind screens a lot. So badges like clamps, lightning reflexes, defensive leader, those badges will do me better than chase down or intimidator or rim protector because I'm not going to be blocking too much because I'm trying to guard a point guard on the pick and roll and step up on screen.
Well said.
Okay.
I like the question. I want to say one thing. 2K. I see a few 6GL players on the wall. Chief and TV right there. Go crazy, Bebo. Smooth go crazy from last season. But 2K, what's with the I fuck your bum on the wall? How you gonna put that on the wall of fame? Like, how's that a wall of fame name? Sorry, I just had to stop for that.
Can't discriminate.
I'll say this though.
That man earned his 99.
Being a defensive leader, though, I play on a two-way, and typically we'll play either like as a lock or a secondary lock, depending on what the lineup calls for. But I usually keep defensive leader on, like you were talking about. But I know in team games too, it's a lot of the times we talk about, especially if you run a lot of zone, you don't really want your lock to have defensive leader. You actually want your back man to have it because the lock is typically so heavily engaged with a on-ball presence defense. It's kind of hard for them to read it. So you typically have like a back line person have it so they can kind of read the whole floor. But I will say this too. It also, I like it and like having it because I know, all right, I contested this shot this much. I contested this shot this much, without actually having to watch the contest from, I guess
from the top right corner.
Yeah, from the top right corner would be. So that's just, I usually go by their whatever number pops up under their feet more than anything. But yeah, I mean that's an interesting point about the defensive leader. I think is a must for a team if you're going to have a lock. But I also know it takes more badges to play a big than it does a lock.
Right.
Yeah. And that defensive leader, like, I don't know, with me, I've noticed, like, in the games that I've played in, like, that defensive leader, if I see the point guard dribble, hit his move, and I see that little, that percent next to his name turn green, for me, I always jump. And that gets me out of position every time because they notice that they up fake me and then they go. So that having an off-ball player with defensive leader, I think that's the best because, like, the lock, he can use those 4 upgrades into something else that would be more useful for him playing the pick and roll.
I have it, like I said, I play on ball a good bit, but I know there's definitely some times where I would say not have it, but I would rather somebody else have it, period, if that makes sense. Just because it gets tough. It gets real, it gets hard kind of to multitask. And I'll say this too, for those of you who have not used Hall of Fame defensive leader, it takes a lot of time to get used to. So if you've got like a big that's like, you're like, hey, you should add it on this, you give them a little bit of time because those numbers running around on the floor it's something else. It's a lot. Like your brain starts trying to process numbers at the same time as trying to play defense. It gets hairy and gets hairy quick. So, but that would be my only thing on that.
True, but other than that, you put
I'd
those
like-
badges on.
I'd like
those
to shout out
deals.
I'd like to shout out a few things before we wrap up the show here. I'd like to shout out our Xbox affiliate league, who've been doing big things from Facebook all the way to Twitter, ADBA Pro-Am, who we have a upcoming show. We just kind of been delayed on it with Mr. Rondé Hollis Jefferson, who actually does play inside of their league, who is an NBA player who plays for the Raptors, who just showed the hell out of the stands to the Blazers last night. Took on that team. I'd also like to announce future guest is Jeff G from Spurs Zone. A lot of you may know through the community, who also was at the NBA 2K League expansion draft. Also, shout out to DL, the Draft League Committee. The Draft League Committee is a committee of draft leagues brought together of Coast to Coast Pro-Am, Premier Pro-Am League, as well as ADBA, Six Gaming League, NBA G League, and a few others like 2K Hunt Search, who are involved in the process of bringing these draft leagues together to create future tournaments through our leagues and letting go of the toxicity that league commissioners have towards each other that we all don't talk about through the community. So, I mean, I think it's really great that we're finally bringing some of the community together, and things are starting to go straight in a new direction of building hashtag love and hashtag respect for everyone that's involved with this process.
And one last thing, man. Hey, your boy Benya, Coach Benya's on the market. I'm a free agent, man. Somebody better pick me up.
All right, listen, Benya. I heard Pop Out, OG Pop Out was in talks.
Well, you gotta tell him
With Slaps and Scooter about joining the trenches. So, I mean, there's some 6G01 teams scouting out there, my guy. They've been watching these flight games.
Hey, man, all I'm saying is I'm a free agent now. WR is over. All my tournaments is over, and I am a free man. I ain't been doing nothing.
You hear that? He ready to help with the rank up, the court rank ups, the
Benya
most
was about to
wanted
hit
court
that
tonight.
bitch.
You hear that? That's what
He on
Benya
the
just
mic.
walked him. Bones Jones
Shit.
just walked himself into court rank ups tonight.
I'll rank the court. I need my overall up too. Here, I can help anybody out, man. Telling y'all,
Heck
it's
yeah.
gonna be some trouble now. If you get me on the squad, hey, if you get me on the roster, that team will have.
Hey, that's why
And
6GL
45
delayed so long, is we was all helping each other get the wins. We're like,
chance.
hey, listen, we understand y'all want them combine matchup flight games, but listen, a lot of people need their
Yes,
wins.
sir.
There was like one day left. People needed 20 wins. We're like, we helping them get their wins. I think Crazy stepped out with a lot of different people and grinded his way with them. So, I mean, thankful to everybody in 6GL community for showing that brother love to one another, that sister love. ICYGRL,
I
you
need
know,
me a
Queen of the 6,
team,
you know, I'm
man.
talking to you. For showing up and bringing everybody up in the community. Appreciate it. Never let anybody down. All right,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Thanks, Coach Nate Ruff and Bones Jones, for coming out.
Oh,
We'll see
yeah,
y'all on the next
absolutely,
Finest
man.
show.
Thank you for
Sir.
You can't stay in this stream, but you got to go somewhere else.